And so it looks like we got everybody else going live, and we get ready to.
Recording in progress.
All right. Greetings, or should I say Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom. Greetings, everyone. Hopefully, everyone is having a beautiful Sabbath day. I'd like to say greetings, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom again. Today is the April 4th. This is what we call April 4th, and today is the Sabbath, which is the assembly of the righteous. This is the Sabbath, which is the assembly of the righteous, right? So this is the assembly of the righteous. And now I believe we have about 5 more days, 5 more days of unleavened bread at this time. So just wanted to start off with this. We're in the time of unleavened bread. We're not supposed to be eating soft bread at this time. We're in the week of the days of unleavened bread. We started on the, I believe it was the first. I believe it was the first. What was the first? The first was Thursday, and I believe that was the first day of unleavened bread. Uh, First day, Thursday, Friday. Today is the third day. We got I guess we got four. It's 7 days, so we got about 4 more days. I can't go into my information to check with you at this point in time, but I believe we got 4 to 5 more days of unleavened bread, and not supposed to eat any leaven at this point in time because these are the days of unleavened bread, according to Exodus chapter Exodus chapter 12 and chapter 13. Speaking of the Passover and the unleavened bread. All right, but right now today we're in here. We're at some of the righteous. We're actually in Exodus chapter. We're in where am I at? First Kings chapter 14, we're going to do today for the assembly of the righteous for today. And today, which is we're going to call Exodus chapter 14. Last week we did Exodus chapter 13, which was a very phenomenal lesson because a lot of information came out of that. So, where we at this point in time, we get ready to start off with the prayer. After we do the prayer, we go into the commandments. Excuse me. After the commandments, then we go into the reason why we have prophets, and after that, we go into our lesson. Now, we actually starting off a little late today because we some of our brothers over in the UK wasn't getting a reception, so we've trying to make sure that happened, but we're where we are at this point in time. So, other than that, I'd like to say first, I'd like to say thanks for everybody for coming. The second of all, I'd like to say is the prayer. Blessed be thou, Father of the universe, that bring forth all living creatures forth from the earth. Blessed be thou, Father of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Blessed be the Father of Israel. Blessed be the Father of 12 tribes of Israel. Thank you, Father, for all you've done, been doing, and plan to do. We ask you to keep giving us wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, life, health, and strength, food, shelter, and clothing. Let us be happy, healthy, wealthy, wise, and prosperous in all that we do. We ask you to keep leading and guiding us so we can help lead and guide others in your knowledge, your word, your ruach, and your way, which is your spirit and your way. We ask you to keep your arm protection around us, keep us at all times in every way, protect us in every way, and allow us to see and understand and know your word so we may grow in your word, your law, and in your way. We ask you to forgive us of any sins that we have done in time past, today's time, and the time to come that we may or may not know about. We also ask you to forgive us for going against your law, your word, and your information, Father, from the time past. And this is the reason why we are in the position we are in today, because we have gone from your word and we are returning back to your laws, your ways, and your word and your ways in these days. We ask you to forgive us and let us understand all the different curses in the Bible, as well as the blessings in Deuteronomy 28. The blessings that you have bestowed upon us is from 1 through 14. The curses is from 15 through 68. And we are basking in these, not realizing it, and let us know and understand and lift the spirit of deep sleep from us, so we will see and understand all the curses that's upon us in this in this day and time, so we may know to turn to do your will, your word, and your way. We ask you to help us in every way, whether it's physical, mental, emotional, financial, or spiritual. In all these things we pray. Hallelujah. 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 Praise you Almighty. Praise you Almighty. Thank you, Father. All right, my brother Cass, baby Joanne, my sister Nicole Bell. We're here, and this is another beautiful day. And as we keep the Father's word and laws, this is a sign unto him that we keep his word, his laws, and his ways, that we may grow in his word, his laws, and his ways. All right. So we get ready to start off in Exodus chapter 20, as we do every Sabbath. Exodus chapter 20 is the word that the Most High, the Almighty, spoke to the children of Israel himself. He spoke these words to them in the wilderness, and this is when they asked for a prophet because, or asked Moses to speak to them, which is they asked for prophet, not realizing what they asked for. And these are the reasons why we go through things and have the things we have today, according to the word of the Almighty. All right? Exodus chapter 20, the 10 commandments. And Yah spake all these words, saying, I am Yah thy father, which have brought thee out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of bondage. First commandment, thou shalt have no other deities which are gods before me. Second commandment, thou shalt not make unto thee any graven image, or any likeness of anything that is in heaven above, or that is in the earth beneath, or that is in the water under the earth. That means no thing. Thou shalt not bow down thyself to them, nor serve them. For I, Yah thy father, am a jealous father, visiting the iniquity, the ignorance of the fathers, of the parents, upon the children, unto the third, which is the Greeks, and the fourth, which is the Roman generations, world empires, of them that hate me, and showing mercy unto thousands of them that love me and keep my commandments. Third commandment, thou shalt not take the name, which is the law of Yah thy father, in vain, for Yah will not hold him guiltless that taketh his name in vain. As we can see, that's a continuation of taking the law, which is his name, in vain. Fourth commandment, remember the Sabbath day to keep it hallowed, which is holy. 6 days shalt thou labor and do all thy work. But the seventh day is the Sabbath of Yah thy father. In it thou shalt not do any work, thou, nor thy son, nor thy daughter, thy manservant, nor thy maidservant, nor thy cattle, nor thy stranger that is within thy gates. For in 6 days Yah made heaven and earth, the sea, and all that in them is, and rested the seventh day. Wherefore Yah blessed the Sabbath day and hallowed it. The fifth commandment, honor thy father and thy mother, that thy days may be long upon the land which Yah thy father giveth thee. Sixth commandment, thou shalt not murder. Even though it says thou shalt not kill, it's actually thou shalt not murder. Because when you kill, you may kill for a purpose, like for a sacrifice, or for a purpose for to eat. But when you murder, you're killing without a cause. You're taking life for no reason. That's murder. The seventh commandment, thou shalt not commit adultery, which is actually idolatry and fornication. When a man has a woman, that woman or those women that belongs to that man should not be laying down with other men, because that one man, thank you, baby, because that one man, thank you, sweetie, because that one man belongs to them and they belong to that one man. No different than if a man that has women should not be laying down with another man's woman, because that is, as I say, both those incidences is adultery, idolatry, and fornication. All right. The eighth commandment, thou shalt not steal. The ninth commandment, thou shalt not bear false witness against thy neighbor. And I always say the prosecutors, lawyers, and eh, prosecutors, lawyers, and attorneys do this crime all the time. They bear false witness because they wasn't there to see what happened at the incident of the crime. All right. And the 10th and last commandment that the Creator spoke to all the children of Israel, thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's house, thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's wife, nor his manservant, nor his maidservant, nor his ox, nor his ass, nor anything that is thy neighbor's. Now, as we can see, the Creator spoke all these words to the children of Israel and all those that was out there at that time. And the people, and this is the people's fear, verse 18. Exodus 20 and 18 states, and all the people saw the thunderings and the lightnings and the noise of the trumpet. Just like we know, when we see and hear, when we hear the noise of the lightning and thundering going on outside, we actually cut the TVs off, get in the corner, and as we always, as our ancestors used to say, or our parents, our grandparents used to say, cut the lights and stuff off because God's speaking. That's when we used to, that our ancestors used to say when they would hear the thunder and lightning going on outside. Just imagine being just under in the open field and this going on. This is why the people was afraid. And it states again in verse 18, and all the people saw the thunderings and the lightnings and the noise of the trumpet and the mountain smoking. And when the people saw it, they removed and stood afar off. This is a key verse coming up in Deuteronomy. This is verse 19. Exodus 20:19 states, and they said unto Moses, speak thou with us, and we will hear. But let not God speak with us, lest we die. The people said that. And Moses said unto the people, fear not, for Yah is come to prove you, and that his fear may be before your faces, that ye, which is you, sin not. And the people stood afar off, and Moses drew near into the thick darkness where Yah, or the Creator, was. Now, as we can see, the people stood afar off. Moses went to the mountain at that time. Now, they may be showing the movie tonight or tomorrow about the 10 commandments. You'll see where Moses went into the mountain and received the commandments and brought them down, which he did go into the mountain to receive them. But the Creator spoke those 10 commandments to the whole congregation, Moses, the whole congregation, and everyone before he went up there to receive them. Now we're in Deuteronomy chapter 18, verse 15 through 22, which is the understanding of the reason why we have prophets today. Verse 15, Deuteronomy 18:15, verse 15. Yah thy father will raise up unto thee a prophet from the midst of thee, of thy brethren, like unto me. Unto him ye shall hearken. That means this is who you want to listen to. These prophets, who the Creator will raise in their time. 16. According to all that thou desirest of Yah thy father in Horeb in the day of the assembly, saying, this is what they said in Exodus 20, verse 19. Let me not hear again the voice of Yah my father, neither let me see this great fire anymore, that I die not. They was afraid at the time. This is the reason why they said that. Verse 17. And Yah said unto me, they have well spoken that which they have spoken. I, verse 18, I will raise them up a prophet from among their brethren. The Creator going to do it. Like unto thee, Moses, and will bring my words in, and will put my words in his mouth. And he shall speak unto them all that I shall command him. So this is the Creator speaking when the prophets come, not man. The prophets speak for the Creator as the Creator speak through them. 19. And it shall come to pass, and it's going to happen, that whosoever will not hearken unto my word, that whoever you may be, that will not hearken unto the Creator's words, which the prophet, which is he shall speak. The key is in my name, is in the Creator's name. I will require it of him. Verse 20. But the prophet which shall presume to speak a word in my name, which is in the Creator's name, which I have not commanded him to speak, which the Creator has not commanded him to speak, or that shall speak in the name of other gods, other deities, like Jesus, Emmanuel, Prophet Muhammad, Yeshua. Even that prophet shall die. In the name, those are the gods of today. 21. And if thou say in thine heart, how shall we know the word which Yah has not spoken? When a prophet speaketh, verse 22, when a prophet speaketh in the name of Yah, speaketh, continue to speak, in the name of Yah, if the thing follow not, nor come to pass, if it don't happen, that is the thing which Yah has not spoken. But the prophet has spoken it presumptuously. Thou shalt not be afraid of him, which is that prophet. So we see that the Creator set up prophets when the people asked for Moses to speak because the people was afraid. And that's the key of reason why we have prophets today. But let's go over here to 1 Kings chapter 14. And just before we start in chapter 14, I always like to give a recap of what happened in last week's lesson, which was chapter 13. So what happened here, I'm going to give you a small recap. In chapter 13, last week, in 1 Kings, there was two situations that happened, really three. Three situations happened here. A young prophet came to do a work. Say what? It's all right. I'm still recording. It's all right. I'm still recording. And I see once I come into the information, certain things is being I gotta find out what's going on with Zoom on this situation. But as I'm sharing with you, and I'm glad I'm recording this as well. And I don't know if this is, well, I ain't forget about it. In 1 Kings chapter 13, I'm glad y'all can see the caption though. In 1 Kings chapter 13, a young prophet, the Creator had sent a young prophet from Judah to Israel, which is to Bethel, to do a prophecy. The Creator told the young prophet to go in one way, to do his work, leave out another. Don't eat there nor drink there, right? And then the work that he was supposed to do is go and leave a prophecy. Now the prophecy was this. He left a prophecy and he left a sign. The prophecy is he said that a man by the name of Josiah is going to come. Let me say this real quick. Verse 2. This is the young prophet that came out of Judah. He said, and he cried against the altar in the word of the Almighty. This is when it says, in my name. He cried out against the altar, against the altar in the word of the Almighty, and said, O altar, thus saith Yah. That's in the Creator's name. Behold, a child shall be born unto the house of David. This is the only time in the Bible you will see a name prophesied for someone to come by name, and it happens. The only time. You won't find it nowhere else. You will hear of a name of someone that's supposed to come, but at the time, you don't know when these things is going to happen, when that prophet did what they were supposed to do, or not prophet, when that sign was supposed to happen. And that was the sign of Emmanuel. You don't see nothing else. You don't see the 65 year. You do see when something happened, but you was diverted from it because why people don't understand it. That's why they used it for something else. In Isaiah 7:14, that was supposed to be in a 65-year span of time. In Isaiah 7:14. But a lot of people don't understand that, and they was diluted and they was strict on what was said by that being in Matthew 1:22 and 23. That was a lie, and that was a cut and paste job by the Council of Nicaea and those who put together the New Testament. But back here to Josiah, it says, behold, a child shall be born unto the house of David, Josiah by name, and upon thee shall he offer the priests of the high places that burnt incense upon thee, which is these false gods and false deities that these priests that Jeroboam has set up. Burn incense upon thee, and men's bones shall be burnt upon thee. Right? So that was the prophecy. But this is the sign. Number 3, verse 3. And he gave a sign the same day, saying, this is the sign which Yah has spoken. Behold, the altar shall be rent, and the ashes that are upon it shall be poured out. That is the sign. And number 2 was the prophecy. A lot of times, signs can be right there in your face, and you do not see it. A lot of times, it's right, and I didn't share that with many people, but I'm not going to go in there. I shared it last week. But the key to this is the sign happened right here in verse 5. It says, the altar also, I'm not going to give you all the details because I did it last week, but I'm giving you the understanding for the recap. The altar was rent and the ashes poured out from the altar according to the sign. See, that was a sign that what was going to happen in the future. The altar was rent and the ashes poured out from the altar according to the sign which the man of Yah had given by the word of Yah in the name of the Creator. So that was the sign that happened right then and there. But the prophecy is in 2 Chronicles chapter 34, the sign of Josiah to come. It says Josiah, but actually the J is a Y. So Josiah is it's in 2 Chronicles chapter 34. If you want to get time, you'll see it by name. And this is the first time and only time, as far as I've known in the Bible, that it said it by name. It doesn't give you to allude to your own conclusion. Like people think in Isaiah chapter 53 is talking about Jesus when it's not. It's talking about the children of Israel. It's talking about the prophets and the things that's going on. A lot of people can't see though. But that's another story. So that's one portion. The second portion is that same young prophet ignored the father's word, or shall I say, he got lied to by an elder. Let me put it like that. He called himself a prophet, and he lied to the young man, but he lied in the name of in the name of an angel, according to the father's word. So he didn't say the Creator told him to do it, but he lied to him and said an angel told him to tell him to come back to sit and eat. And the young prophet didn't listen and didn't obtain what the Creator said. He listened to what the man said that an angel told him to do. This is when you start to pay close attention to the Creator's word. That's why I tell people. A lot of people say, whoa, Jesus. Well, I ain't going to go off into that. But the point is, now you can start to see the manipulation. So the young man lost his life. I'm just going to say it like that, since we just given a small recap. Young man lost his life. Now, y'all can go back and read the information. You can go back to last week's information to hear the whole situation. But the last thing I wanted to share with you is this in chapter 13. The last two verses, 33 and 34, is what's going on today. This is what's going on today. What Jeroboam has done and what the Roman Empire is doing right now. And this is it. The obstinacy, shall I say, the obstinacy of Jeroboam. At verse 33 and 34 states, After this thing, Jeroboam returned not from his evil way. See what I'm saying? Anything you do against the law is evil, whether y'all know that or not. After this thing, Jeroboam returned not from his evil way, but made again of the lowest of the people priests of the high places. Whosoever would, he consecrated him, and he became one of the priests of the high places. This is going on today. That's why all these people going to seminary school and stuff like that. The Roman Empire or these colleges is in the place of Jeroboam, giving people the authority to become priests and giving them a piece of paper. Okay, you got your doctorate degree. Now you can go in and be a preacher. You can be a priest. And these people walk around with, I got my doctorates. Who did the Creator give it to you? But this is why I try to get people to understand. If you hadn't been anointed by the Creator, like the Creator said, like it was stated in Deuteronomy, that He gonna raise you up a prophet. Or if you're not a Levite or of the Levites, to be priest. This is where the idolatry and the lies are going at today, and that people don't realize. Became one of the priests of the high place. Verse 34, and last verse. And this thing became sin unto the house of Jeroboam, even to cut it off and to destroy it from off the face of the earth. You see that? And that's what he was doing. And that's what he was doing. And this is when Josiah came and started putting things into place. Josiah came in chapter 34, 2 Chronicles, chapter 34, and started putting things in order and in place. But see, no different than what's going on today. The world has been deceived. Before I get into 14, the world has been deceived. And then when people like myself and people that come to know the truth and start put truth in order and start letting people know the truth, they're looking at you like you crazy. Why? Because they've been following the wrong way for so long. They think the wrong way is right. They think the right way is wrong. Isaiah 5 and 20. Y'all need to check that out. Now, we're going to get into chapter 14. That was just a small recap of chapter 13. But chapter 14, and also, if you go to last week's information, I have a lot of situations that happened in that happened with me in my life in chapter 13. That's one of my favorites. 1 Kings chapter 13 is one of my favorite scriptures in there. That I actually can say that my life had situations like that happened with me. And I'm glad the scripture, and I will still say chapter 13 I'm gonna say not it's my life, because it were things that almost did according to that same chapter, that I'm glad that I read that chapter that made me say, oh, okay, I ain't gonna do that. But y'all have to go back to last week's information and check that out. Right now, we're in 1 Kings chapter 14. Jeroboam sends his wife to Ahiah. Jeroboam sends his wife to Ahiah. All right, let's go into this and see what's up. I ain't read this in so long. 13 is my favorite, but let's get on this and see what he's got to say. Let me get this. Let me get my highlighters ready. I know this is gonna be good. Whatever it is, because I ain't read it. I ain't seen this in so long. So just get it set, get it ready. Now, chapter 14 and 1. At that time, Abijah, yeah, Abijah, J is a Y. At that time, Abijah, the son of Jeroboam, fell sick. Abijah, the son of Jeroboam, fell sick. And Jeroboam said to his wife, arise, I pray thee, and disguise thyself, that thou be not known to be the wife of Jeroboam, meaning be my wife. I don't know why he's talking in the third word, but the people is writing this. Right? And Jeroboam said to his wife, arise, I pray thee, and disguise thyself, that thou be not known to be the wife of Jeroboam, and get thee to Shiloh. Behold, there is Ahiah the prophet, which told me that I should be king over this people. You see that? This is Jeroboam saying. Ahiah the prophet, which told me that I should be king over this people. And take with thee 10 loaves and cracknels, I don't know what that is, and cracknels, and a cruse of honey, and go to him. He shall tell thee what shall become of the child. Let me show you again, as me and Cass said in previous recordings or information. When you're in Germany, when you go to people's homes, you always bring a gift. When you go to certain events, you bring a gift all the time. And if you notice right here, they tell you, and take with thee 10 loaves and cracknels, I don't know what cracknels is, and a cruse of honey, and go to him. He shall tell thee what shall become of the child. See, take this gift with you to the prophet. See, people want stuff today empty-handed. They want things, and nowadays people get stuff empty-handed, and they complain about it. In this day and time, a lot of our people just not satisfied with things that even if you giving it to them for free, joyously giving it to them for free, and they still they always have something to say. You know what I'm saying? But as it says here, go to the prophet and give him a gift. Right? Make sure I keep that. And tell me what's going on with the child. And Jeroboam's wife did so, and rose and went to Shiloh, and came to the house of Ahiah. But Ahiah could not see, for his eyes were set by reason of his age. That means that same thing happened to him is what happened to Isaac. He got old, he became an elder, and his eyes started to get dim, and he became blind, I guess you could say. So he couldn't see physically. Let me put it like that. He couldn't see physically. That's the key. He couldn't see, right? In fact, let me go ahead and take with thee, make sure I understand that, 10 loaves and cracknels and a cruse of honey. I want to make sure I kept that. And Jeroboam's wife did so, verse 4, and arose and went to Shiloh and came to the house of Ahiah. But Ahiah could not see. Couldn't see at this time. He couldn't see. For his eyes were set by reason of his age. Mainly he was blind. Ahiah's prophecy against Jeroboam. Here we go. This is prophecy. And Yah said unto Ahiah, behold, the wife of Jeroboam. And Yah said, see, look who's speaking. And Yah said to Ahiah, behold, the wife of Jeroboam cometh to ask a thing of thee for her son. See that? Listen to what's going on, y'all, and pay attention to the wording. Pay attention to the prophecy. Listen to what's happening. Creator's already letting him know what's going to happen. See what I mean when the Creator talks to the prophet? When the Creator talks to the prophet, he's talking to the prophet to let you know what's going to happen. He's warning you, let you know what's going to happen before time or what have you, right? For he is sick. Thus and thus shalt thou say unto her. Okay, the Creator is telling them what she's going to say to her. For it shall be when she cometh in that she shall feign herself to be another woman. She's going to act like she's another woman. See that? See how the Creator will show you what you need if you're walking in his way. She's going to disguise, feign, I guess, I'm just going to say she shall disguise herself, I'm going to put it like that, to be another woman. 6, And it was so when Ahiah heard the sound of her feet as she came in at the door, that he said, "Come in, thou wife of Jeroboam." See that? You can't trick the Creator's anointed. Wife of Jeroboam. Why Feignest, Feignest. I'm just going to say, why disguises thyself to be another? For I am sent to thee with heavy tidings. I guess that's what she said. For I am sent to thee with heavy tidings. 7. Go tell Jeroboam, thus saith Yah, father of Israel. Here we go. Go tell Jeroboam, thus saith the Creator of Israel, for as much as I exalted thee from among the people and made thee prince over my people Israel, 10 tribes, right? This Creator talking here. Let me finish up first. And rent the kingdoms away from the house of David and gave it thee, and yet thou hast not been as my servant David, who kept my commandments. Here we go. And who followed me with all his heart to do that only which was right in my eyes, but has done evil above all that were before thee. Let me do this real quick. It's the Creator talking here. Go tell Jeroboam, thus saith Yah, for as much, here we go right here, as thus saith Yah, for as much as I exalted thee from among the people and made thee prince over my people Israel, over 10 tribes, and rent the kingdom away from the house of David, and gave it thee, and yet thou hast not been as my servant David, who kept my commandments and followed me with all his heart. That's why we should have got with this. To do that only which was right in mine eyes. I should do the first part with the yellow. But has done evil above all that were before thee, for thou hast gone and made thee other deities, gods, and molten images to provoke me to anger, and hast cast me behind thy back. Therefore, behold, I will bring evil upon the house of Jeroboam, and will cut off from Jeroboam him that pisses against the wall. Woo! See that? That pisses against the wall, and him that is shut up and left in Israel, and will take away the remnant of the house of Jeroboam, as a man taketh away dung till it be all gone. Man, and we don't like I can't stand it. I can't stand no dung. If you don't know what dung is, that's the excretes that come out your behind. It's called doo-doo. That's what dung is. You're gonna get rid of it till it's all gone because you don't want to. I can't stand it. Him that dieth of Jeroboam in the city shall the dogs eat, and him that dieth in the field shall the fowls of the air eat. For Yah has, you see that? That is a scary thing to witness or to be said to you. For Yah has spoken it. That's scary. I would be terrified. You see what I'm saying? If a prophet told me, I wouldn't even think about even going against it in the first place. For Yah has spoken it. If the Creator said it, it's gonna happen. Boy, that'd be the scariest thing. Let's hit this one more time. I'm gonna underline the best part up here. Verse 7 again, I'm taking on down. Go tell Jeroboam. Go tell Jeroboam. This is all the stuff that you got to understand with all the stuff he did in verse 23 and 24 of 1 Kings 13. And then go down here. Now his son got sick. What I tell y'all about the Creator said what he said in Deuteronomy 28. And this is what I'm telling you about sickness. Sickness is a curse. Until we start turning and doing the Creator's will, his ways, and start doing what he say do, and then continue in his ways, and then we'll start to heal from the things that we're going through. Until we do that, and this is the reason why a lot of people think they don't understand the reason why people are sick. Oh, it's a generational. Yes, it is. You can say it's a curse that's from Deuteronomy 28. That's the reason why we have. I try to tell people to read Ezekiel chapter 18. If you read Ezekiel 18, if you're carrying on in the sins of your ancestors, that's why it says in the second, as I read it every week, we just got through reading it. He's a jealous father, visiting the iniquities, the ignorance upon the fathers, which is the parents, upon the children. See, your parents teach your children what they've learned. And if they're learning to do wickedness and evil, they're teaching the children to do wickedness and evil. So if the children do wickedness and evil, they're carrying on the same trait that their parents. That's the reason why their parents are doing. That's the reason why if you go to Ezekiel chapter 18, the Creator tells you, if the son sees the ignorance and the sins of the father and turn from these things and start keeping the laws of the Creator, then he's going to change your way. He's going to start turning you and blessing you and doing the things that you need to do for you. And people don't even get this. People still go along in the things that they're doing and saying, well, why did this happen? If God is this, and why did this happen? It's because that you and them is in sin. Born in sin and shaping in iniquity, and you're still in iniquity until you turn from the sins and the ignorant ways and start keeping the Creator laws. Now, as much as you try to tell people this, they'll still stay where they at. But then they'll wonder, well, why this happened? Well, why that happened? Deuteronomy 28 to give you your answer. All the blessings from 1 to 14, all the curses from 15 to 68. Just that simple. In a nutshell, in one chapter. One chapter give you everything. Flat out. But let's keep it moving. Again, go tell Jeroboam, thus saith Yah of Israel, for as much as I exalted thee among the people, I exalted thee from among the people and made thee prince over my people. This is when the Creator spoken, and rent the kingdom away from the house of David and gave it thee, and yet thou hast not been as my servant David. Who kept my commandments and who followed me with all his heart. You see that? To do that only which was right in my name, in my eyes, shall I say, in my eyes. And we make mistakes. So we can't act like that David made a mistake, but he repented. He made a mistake, but he repented. We're not oblivious from mistakes. But sometimes we have to know when to turn back and know and pray and be sincere. See, the Creator know your heart. The Creator know your heart. David's heart been with the Creator ever since he got on the scene. When y'all read this information, David was always with the Creator. He got in a position and got in over his head, and then he repented after he did what he did. But he got punished for it too. No different when a person get punished, go to jail, come out, that punishment supposed to be over with. You ain't supposed to remember that because you done did your time for that. Start a new leaf and keep it moving. But this brother, as we can see, but has done evil, verse 9, but has done evil above all that were before thee, for thou hast gone and made thee other deities and molten images to provoke me to anger, and has cast me behind thy back. You see that? Therefore, behold, I will bring evil. I will. Who gonna do it? The Creator. The house of Jeroboam. And will cut off from Jeroboam him that pisses against the wall, and him that is shut up and left in Israel, and will take away the remnant of the house of Jeroboam. See, he's talking about Jeroboam in general, because he was the king. See what I'm saying? Him that pisses against the wall is his seed that should become kings after him. Of the house of Jeroboam, as a man taketh away dung, it shall be all gone. Mm-hmm. Him that dieth of Jeroboam in the city shall the dogs eat. You see that? Him that dieth of Jeroboam in the city shall the dogs eat. So they were still eating raw meat and stuff of carcasses and stuff at that time. The dogs. And him that dieth in the field shall the fowls of the air eat. You see that? For Yah has spoken it. Now you got to understand what dogs is. What's the word I'm looking for? What they call it? Dogs are that cleans up the earth. What they call these like catfish of the sea and buzzards. Huh? Scavengers. Thank you. That's exactly. Thank you, my sis. Scavengers. That's what they do. They eat up the stuff that's left on the earth. But people have taken dogs and stuff in, and they made them their friends. Why? Guess who's the first one that I know they do? Because I never seen in the scripture where we actually had dogs. We had dogs in our household, but there was dogs in the city. Sound like. Let me go off. I'm about to get off into some things that I've seen. I remember seeing some guys walking around. What they call them? What's their name? What's their name? Hyenas. Guys was walking around hyenas out there in the field, like in Africa. They're walking around hyenas. These might have been the dogs that they were talking about. Could have been. I don't know. But I remember seeing some guys walking around hyenas. Not scared of them, but they're still wild. Verse 12. Arise thou therefore, get thee to thine own house. Now get up out of here, woman. I just told you what you need to know. Now go and get back to your husband. Arise thou therefore and get thee to thine own house. And when thy feet enter into the city, the child shall die. Bam, that creator was mad. You see that? See what I mean by the creator being mad? A lot of people don't know the creator mad today. But he's giving you mercy because he said it at the end of the second commandment. He said, the father, the jealous father, visiting the iniquities upon the fathers, the ignorance upon the fathers, upon the children, unto the third, which is the Greek, and the fourth, which is the Roman generation of them that hate me. The Greeks and the Romans changed everything, and we have followed, we as a people at one time. This is why everybody's born in sin and shaped into iniquity. We have followed their ways. Unto the third and fourth generation of them that hate me. Again, unto the third and fourth generation of them that hate me. And showing mercy, this is your grace. And showing mercy unto thousands of them that love me and keep my commandments. He said that, and he's giving everybody a pass in that last portion of the second commandment. Showing mercy. And a lot of people is getting mercy. But mercy is running out now. It's time to turn back to the law. This is why we're here on the Shabbat, on the Sabbath, doing the will of the Creator, going through his word. But he should told him that will go back to your own place because the child should die. When you enter the city, your child gonna die. He gonna die. Why? Because what your father did. I can't have your son coming up in his stead doing whatever that you, cause your child is learning what you taught him. So you got to understand, if you sit back and understand the creator, the way the creator see things. See, we can't understand. We can only understand the creator from what we're reading and the way that he has set things up. You have to sit back. A lot of people just hear, well, he blaming the son. The son don't. The creator already seen and know that them children gonna take on what their father doing. So your father is the reason why your son is passing. Because you're going to teach your son the same thing you're doing. Now, it's a different where we're at today. We came so far down the line where we at in this point in time. Now you have a choice to go in and read and study and research, and creator going to lead and guide you. But it's your choice to get it. That's where your free will come in at. It's your choice to get it or not. All right, verse 13. And all Israel shall mourn for him and bury him. See that? See, Israel gonna mourn for him. Why? Because Jeroboam gave them what they wanted, but that was of the creator. And that wasn't the creator of that point. The creator, when Rehoboam said that I'm gonna make my finger, my baby finger bigger than my father's loins, which is Solomon's. Everybody rebelled against it, but that was of the creator, because the creator said he's going to rip. When the creator he speaks. His word is not coming back void. And that's what people need to realize. That's what people need to realize. Hold your thought. Let me get to this point. When we get done, then make your statement, Nicole, when we get done. Say, and all Israel shall mourn for him and bury him, for he only of Jeroboam shall come to the grave, because in him, listen, because in him there is found some good thing towards the father of Israel in the house of Jeroboam. Oh, listen to what was said. Told you the creator see everything. He said, and all Israel shall mourn for him and bury him. For he only, check this out. Didn't I tell you the creator seen? I told you I ain't read this in a minute. For he only of Jeroboam shall come to the grave. He the only one that's going to be buried. He's the only one that's going to be buried of Jeroboam's seed, of that piss against wall, which is young men. Shall come to the grave, because in him there is found some good towards Yah of Israel in the house of Jeroboam. Now y'all see that? Can y'all understand? He the only one that's going to get a burial. Now, do y'all understand? A lot of people out here that die wicked deaths, people that done got in car crashes and died, people that done got shot up and died, things like that. Can y'all see the difference in people dying a certain type of way compared to dying in a horrific way? And the creator is giving it to you right here. And all Israel shall mourn for him. He had an honorable death, even though they never saw what he would have did. He probably would have changed Israel around. But the father already gave his decree. He the only one of Jeroboam's seed that the father saw in the future. I keep telling y'all the father seen everything from beginning to end, day one. Genesis 1:1. He seen everything from beginning to end. He said, for he only of Jeroboam shall come to the grave. He's the only one that's going to get buried. Because in him there is found some good thing towards the father. Some good thing towards the father, of Israel in the house of Jeroboam. Moreover, Yah shall raise him up a king. Moreover, Yah shall raise him up a king over Israel. I mean, the creator going to raise up another king. Moreover, Yah shall raise him up a king over Israel, who shall cut off the house of Jeroboam that day. But what? Even now. But what? Even, that means it's happening right now. You see that? Can you see what's going on? But what? He's raising somebody up right now to do what needs to be done. So what's going to happen is, even now, even though by the time she head back, she step into the city, the young man gonna die. They're gonna give him a good burial. And as soon as his burial is done, bam, they're gonna get rid of Jeroboam. Sound like. Moreover, 14. Yah shall raise him up a king over Israel, who shall cut off the house of Jeroboam that day. Same day, sound like to me. But even now, Yah gonna raise him up. Who shall cut off the house of Jeroboam that day. Verse 15. For Yah shall smite Israel as a reed is shaken in the water, as a reed is shaken in the water, and he shall root up Israel out of this good land. Oh boy, see, now they're gonna be taken out the land, sound like to me. For Yah shall smite Israel as a reed is shaken in the water, and he shall root up Israel out of this good land which he gave unto their fathers, and shall scatter them beyond the river, because they have made their groves provoking Yah to anger. You see that? This is when Israel was kicked out the land. Creator said it. Said it was going to happen. We're going to see how long it's going to take. I don't know how long it's going to take, but we got to understand that this right here, this is prophecy. I'm circling this right here for a purpose. Hold on, I'm going to circle it. Let me go ahead and put this in the square. This whole point right here. For Yah shall smite Israel as a reed is shaken in the waters. You know, when you put a reed in the water and you shake it like that, you're stirring the water up. As a reed is shaken in the water, and he shall root up Israel out of this good land which he gave to their fathers, and shall scatter them beyond the river, because they have made their groves provoking. Now let me share something with y'all. This is said right in the time of Jeroboam. I'm gonna share something with y'all to get understanding. Hold your make your notes, Nicole and anybody else, make your notes together, because I want y'all to give me y'all points in this, but I'm gonna give y'all everybody understanding. We see when the Creator is spoken this, right here in chapter 14. Israel kicked out of the land. Put this right here. Israel kicked out. This is when it was first said. But now, when was it done? When was it done? This is what people don't realize. See, when you look at it, people read, and they'll read right over that one verse. They'll read right over that and won't even pay no attention. The Father said it right here. This is when he said he's going to kick Israel out the land. But they'll read, and let's see these other kings that set up and whatever, what have you and what have you. They'll see all these other kings and stuff set up and other things happening. But then they'll forget what was said right here. This is why when you read through, you can start to see the timeline of what the Creator spoke and what the Creator said compared to what people think. That's why people don't know the Bible. When the Creator speaks, it's going to come to pass. But they don't understand when it's going to come to pass, because they say, well, because they don't understand. But let's keep it moving. Verse 16. We're going to take this down to 20, then we're going to end part 1, and we're going to come back with part 2. All right? 16. And he shall give Israel up because of the sins of Jeroboam. See, that's the Creator going to give Israel up because of the sins of Jeroboam, who did sin and who made Israel to sin. You see that? That's the reason why at the end of 13 it says, and this thing became sin unto the house of Jeroboam, even to cut it off and to destroy it from the face of the earth. Israel. That's what's it right here, right? And Jeroboam's wife, okay, good. Let me go ahead and finish, get that. That's 15 and 16. Israel kicked out, prophesies. This is the prophecy. Now, 17. And Jeroboam's wife arose and departed and came to Tirzah. And when she came to the threshold of the door, the child died. See that? Prophecy right there. And Jeroboam's wife came to Tirzah, came back. When she got to the threshold of the door, the child died. Just like prophecy. When the Creator speak, the child died. And they buried him, and all Israel mourned for him. There's prophecy right there. And they buried him, and all Israel mourned for him, according to the word of Yah, which spake by the hand of his prophet, the servant Ahiah. And all Israel mourned for him, according to the word of Yah, which spake by the hand of his servant Ahiah the prophet. And the rest of the acts of Jeroboam, how he warred and how he reigned, behold, they are written in the book of the Chronicles of the kings of Israel, right? And the days which Jeroboam reigned were 22 years. And he slept with his fathers, and Nadab, his son, reigned in his stead. Okay, Nadab, his son, reigned in his stead. So he did come up. He did have a son to reign in his stead. But the Creator said what was going to happen. Him that died of Jeroboam in the city shall the dogs eat, and him that died in the field shall the fowls of the air. So this is going to be happening to all his children. Because he still said, still the seed of him, those things of Jeroboam, what was going to happen. So it didn't say all of his seeds were going to die right then, but he was just letting it be known any seed of Jeroboam that died at this point, certain things are going to happen. That died at that point, certain things are going to happen. All right? Put this right here. Ward and how reign are written in the book of the Chronicles, kings of Israel. And the days of Jeroboam reigned and were 20 years, and he slept with his fathers. Nadab, his son, reigned in his stead. All right. So that's just good to clear understanding. Because people are like, well, you know, he said he was going to do this and that, but he also just let it be known of what his sons were going to be, how they're going to die. The one that's going to die in the field, and one's going to die in the city, one's going to die in the country, might as well say. The fields out there fighting or what have you, what was going to happen and how they was going to die. He said the only one that got a proper burial, only one that's got a proper burial, because all the rest of them going to be eaten up. One that's got a proper burial was his son that died right then. They got sick. He's the only one that got a proper burial. But now, Nicole, it was something you wanted to share before we go into part 2, which was in verse 21.
Yeah, in, was it, I believe it was paragraph 12 here. I guess that's where that meaning come when they say, nip it in the bud.
Say, arise thou, therefore, get thee to thine own house, and when thy feet enter into the city, the child shall die.
When, I don't know if you're familiar with flower bushes and everything, but when the roses are starting to grow wild, right?
Mm-hmm.
When you nip it in the bud, it stops it.
It stops it
And
from oh, okay, I see what you're saying.
yeah, so the bud is actually a small child of a plant. The
Right.
bud.
That's right. That's
Yeah.
true.
Yeah.
So yeah, I see what you're saying. So nip it in the bud, it means it stops the seedling from producing.
Right.
I got
Yeah.
you.
Yeah.
Okay. That was what you was gonna share at that point?
Yeah, that was it.
Okay, okay. Well, Brother Kaz, is there anything you want to share at that point, or can you still hear me?
I
Yep.
can hear you.
All right. Is there anything you want to share up to this point? Or you I mean if you don't, you're good, but just sharing. Just wanted to
That
see.
was, yeah. I've been busy going backwards and forward. I'm hearing you.
Mm-hmm.
However, Nicole, that was part of what I wanted to say. That is very, very interesting. How, see, the Bible, from my understanding, it speaks in metaphors
Right.
and what you call similes and so forth. So, to get an understanding of it, you have to understand these things because as you go through the book, it uses stuff like wheat and so forth and
Parables.
various other things. Yeah.
Parables,
So,
examples.
so the people at that time have a full understanding of what is meant. So, as Nicole just pointed out, but the bud, nip it in the bud. It's very interesting how the the writing at that time and now today we can still have an understanding of it, which is very good.
Yeah, it was good.
Mm.
So, baby, do you have anything you want to share on that point, or are you done? Or you have anything to say at all? I think I hear her around there walking downstairs herself. So she's like, she downstairs like she's moving back and forth. I don't think she have anything to say at the moment myself.
Okay. So another point. Oops.
Okay, well, I was just saying I heard you walking around, so I just wondered.
Yeah, I was
Okay.
kind of doing some stuff, but yeah, I
Okay.
don't have anything to share. The lesson is good though.
Another point. Sorry. Another point you make there, Mikhail, is that the disguise that was used. You know, you find people who are blind, especially in this time now. I've seen a few videos where a woman bring man into the house with the husband being blind, but all the other senses kicks in,
That's right.
and he gets a whiff of another person's smell that he's not used to, you know, so he can tell.
Yep.
So this was really interesting. You're trying to use the term fool the creator. It's impossible.
That's right.
It's impossible. Like I heard something a couple of days back. There's supposed to be, the monetary system is changing. So a lot of people saying that, what about all these greedy people and so forth? There's going to be some scamming going on. So the answer was that this is blockchain technology. You're not going to be able to. I want to say there's going to be some face assistant taking place. A lot of people don't realize that we are not here alone. There are other things going on in the sense of help from, well, you'd say, angels.
Mm-hmm.
You understand? So we're moving forward into a beautiful time where you cannot hide from the Father.
That's true.
Why you wanna hide if you're doing what's right? There's no need to be afraid.
All you gotta do is, like we saying, stay in the law. Just like he said, and think about like what you're saying there, and what happened here. The reason why his son got sick is because he had some good in him, so he don't go through the hell that a lot of these other people gonna go through. Do you understand? Glad you said that, and what just hit me with this whole situation. Do y'all know a lot of time, a lot of good people die because just so that they don't go through the hell that a lot of people is going to go through? Ain't that something? Uh,
It
uh,
is
um,
indeed.
huh?
I said it is indeed.
Is
Yeah,
that
And
where the good die young?
some. It could mean that in certain situations, but then again, you got to look at how they die.
Yes.
Look at how they die. You know what I'm saying? Because there's gonna be a lot of people that's gonna get caught up in a blast of. I'm just gonna say the maybe the nuclear blast if that happens or what have you. It's gonna be a lot of things that, and this is just an example. If for people that wonder why people die, and this is a very very good example of a good person passing. I gotta make sure I make this right here. Example of the good dying.
like taking him away so that he doesn't get into well, you'd use the term suffer
Right.
more than
Because
Yeah,
he's
it's
because don't forget what he said right here is that he said that his seed, let me read it right here. He said, him that dieth of Jeroboam in the city shall the dogs eat, and him that dieth in the field shall the fowls of the air eat. Mainly, we don't know how they're going to die because he didn't say how they're going to die, but they're not going to have a good burial, is what he's saying here. For Yah has spoken it. That means that all that they're not going to have a good burial. So we don't know how they died. They may have died good. We have to go on to read and find out what happened in their life in order for the seed of Jeroboam and how they died. But the Creator did say that right there states they're not going to have a burial. The only one that's going to be buried is the son that has some good in him. So think about. Let me share something with y'all real quick, and I'm just going. This hit me earlier, but I'm gonna hit it right now. Think about in the time of COVID, a lot of people was dying, right? A lot of people was dying. I remember somebody was riding down the street and they was showing the camera and they had dead bodies, but they was in body bags, dead bodies laying all in the street. It was so many people dying. I remember another scenario. This guy had a funeral home. All bodies was in the backyard, like he just threw them out in the back. He's probably, I don't know if they've been cremated or if they've probably been buried. But the whole thing is they was bodies just all in the back that's just rotting and things going on. And they came and did an investigation, and all them they said it was too much for him to do. So he just took the bodies and just throwing them out in the back. They didn't even get buried.
I remember that story.
You remember that? They didn't even
Yeah, I
get.
do. I remember that, and then also too, what the man was doing, he was also he cremated as many as he can, and people was getting. They weren't actually getting their loved ones; they was getting in this other people loved ones. He was doing it so wrong. I think it was here in Georgia that they found that.
I think it was there too, but wherever it was, I heard that. And just think about what's said right here. See, we got to understand, it's a lot of things that a lot of people was doing. They didn't get, just like I said, they didn't get a proper burial. They didn't get a proper burial. And this is what the Creator said. He said, and all Israel shall mourn for him, and the key is, and bury him. That's your key. See, a lot of people don't look at the words of what's being said. The key to this point was, and bury him.
So, so does that mean if God takes you, you will have a proper burial?
Uh,
I can't say that because
say,
we just got through also saying when he said the dog's going to eat them, so if the creator took them, remember everything is of the creator, good, bad. If he and all you got to do is look at Isaiah 45:7. He create the evil and makes good and create evil. I'm not a quoter. He creates good and make the evil. He promotes um light and creates darkness. The creators of all these things. So the creator's over everything. But it's what he allows according to your doings.
Right.
So right here it said that the reason why he killed he let the young man die or get sick and die, because he's the only one that got buried here. He's the only one got buried for of Jeroboam shall come to the grave. See what it says? Shall come to the grave. That means he's the only one that got a proper burial, and everybody mourned for him. So when you get a proper burial and people come to visit you and stuff like that, and you get mourned for, that is like a proper burial, and that's a proper sending. It looked like to me from here, because in him there is found some good thing towards the creator of Israel in the house of Jeroboam, in him. Say, but yet and still, all the rest of them, they're going to either die in the field and the dog's going to eat them. They ain't going to get buried. Or they're going to die in the city. They're going to die in the city. The dog's going to eat them. Or they're going to die in the field and the fowls in the air going to eat them. They're not going to get a proper burial. That's something. And it's still what? Of the creator. But what did it say? For the mouth of the word, for Yah has spoken it. Might well say for the mouth of the creator has spoken it, but he did through the prophet. So is there anything else y'all wanted to share with this before we move to part 2? All right. Well, then I just like to say this. I am that Mikael in Daniel chapter 12, verses 1 to 3. Yeah, that's me. Showing the holy people who they're really supposed to be. Waking them out of their dead beds, which is really in their heads. For all of you who's living in the new, this is for you. I'm that same Mikael in Revelations 12, battling that red dragon where Satan dwell, who deceiveth the whole world but prevaileth not, because the horn is blown without a doubt. This was prophesied for you to see that Mikael is really me. This is the end of part 1 of 1 Kings chapter 14, and we'll be right back with part 2. I'd like to thank everybody for coming, and I'd like to thank my guests over here in Zoom, my sister Nicole Bell, my brother Kaz, and his beautiful wife Beverly, and also my beautiful baby Joanne sitting over there, that big pretty smile as well, and my brother Patrick. He was trying to get in for some reason. He couldn't hear, so he bowed out. But yet still, for those who come, we thank you for coming. We'll be right back with part 2, and we're going to pause Zoom, and then we're going to tell everybody else how to connect back with us. All right? So we're going to pause you real quick, Zoom. We'll be right back.
Recording stopped.
All right, and for everybody else on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube, I'd like to say greetings, everybody, and also let you know how to connect with us. And I'm going to start off with our private day first. And I guess I'll give you our Zoom's information first. But we're here we're here with our private information on Zoom every Tuesday at 7:30 a.m. and at 9 p.m. on Tuesdays, and we call it Introduction to Sovereign Class of Knowledge. It's called Introduction to Sovereign Class of Knowledge. And today I'm going to say something a little different than I've been saying, because that might be the reason why certain people, and it might be the reason why, but I don't know, certain people are not getting the certain connections. So I'm just going to say this much today and for now on. If you're interested in joining us in the Sovereign Class of Knowledge, please text me your name, number, and email. Text me your name, number, and email. And once you text me your name, number, and email, and say that I would like to know more information about the sovereign classes, text that to me. And once you text that to me, I will place your information in a certain place, and you will you will go into your email. You will go into your email and you will accept my dates. You will accept the dates of all my class of all my programs. I put it like that. You accept the dates there, and then you will be able to have um, everything in your Google Calendar. I'm just going to say that much. I really didn't even want to put that much out there. You have everything in your Google Calendar. If you don't have it, upload Google Calendar from Play Store, and then once you text me that, I'll send the information, and it'll be in your email. Then you will accept all the dates, and then you should have notifications of how to connect with us from that point. If not, just give me a call and we'll go from there. But you can always call or text me at 770-572-5315. Again, that's 770-572-5315. Or you can always email me at lkhyym@gmail.com. Again, that's lkhyym@gmail.com. All right. Now that is for Tuesdays, which is Introduction to Sovereign Class of Knowledge. Then we're right here on the Sabbath day on Zoom as well, because all these are my Zooms. We're here on the Sabbath day. We're not only on Zoom, we're on Zoom, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube on these dates. We're here on at Sovereign Class of Knowledge at 9. I'm sorry. We're here at excuse me, the Sabbath, my mind got thrown off for a minute. The Sabbath Assembly of the Righteous. We are here on the Sabbath day, Sabbath Assembly of the Righteous at 12 p.m. noon Eastern Time. That's Sabbath Assembly of the Righteous, 12 p.m. Eastern Time, which is noon on the Sabbath day, which people call Saturday. Then we're here on Sundays, the night after Sunday, I like to say, the night after Sunday at 9 p.m. Eastern Time, and that is Fight Fire with Truth, which is Open Conversations. That's Fight Fire with Truth, which is Open Conversations on the night after Sunday at 9 p.m. Eastern. Then we're here on Mondays. Monday, the night after Monday, that is, at 9 p.m. Eastern as well. And that's Mikael's Knowledge of Truth. That's Mikael's Knowledge of Truth, night after Monday at 9 p.m. So those are the Zooms and also the platforms that we are on. Now for the platforms, you can always connect with me at JuicePro33 on YouTube and also on X, formerly known as Twitter. That's YouTube and also X, formerly known as Twitter, on, or should I say, at JuicePro33, which is spelled JUICEPRO33. That's JUICEPRO33. And that's JuicePro33 on YouTube and also on Twitter, formerly known, well, X, formerly known as Twitter. And you can also catch us on Facebook. That's Facebook, which is under Mikael Harris, which is spelled MI apostrophe CHAEL space HARRIS. Again, that's MI apostrophe CHAEL space HARRIS. All right, that's Facebook. You can also catch us on Instagram and one of my TikToks. That's Instagram and one of my TikToks under L'chaim underscore the juice. Again, that's L'chaim underscore the juice, which is spelled LKHYYM underscore THEJUICE. Again, that's LKHYYM underscore THEJUICE. That's for Instagram and also one of my TikToks. My other TikTok and my other YouTube, which is Michael the Juice Harris, all together as one. That's my other TikTok and my other YouTube, which you can like, subscribe, and share to, which is spelled MICHAELTHEJUICE. Juiceharris. Again, that's Michaeljuiceharris. That's all together as one word. And that's my other TikTok and my other YouTube, which you can like, subscribe, and share to. Last but not least, you can also connect with us on patreon.com and rumble.com. Both of them /LKHYYM. Again, that's patreon.com /LKHYYM. And also rumble.com /LKHYYM. All right. Just wanted to share that. And just to let you know. So we're getting ready to say bye to, first we'll say bye over here to Facebook. We thank you for your time, your patience, your listening ear, your seeing eye. We'll be right back with part 2 in a few moments. I thank you for your time, your patience, your listening ear, and your seeing eye. Zachariah, appreciate you for coming through. And always, peace. Zechariah 6. All right. And over here on Instagram, we thank you for your time, your patience, your listening ear, and your seeing eye. And never touch zero. And I have a question. Well, you didn't come through. You ain't stayed long enough for the question. But other than that, thank you for your time, your patience, your listening ear, and your seeing eye. Appreciate love. See you soon and always. Peace. There we go. And now for YouTube Live. We thank you for your time, your patience, your listening ear, and your seeing eye. Appreciate love you. See you soon and always. And always, peace. Shabbat shalom.